Now, proposed tenderly loved, I invite you to visit San Luis Potosi, a trip with my first love. On the spot, I became enthused, but afterwards I understood that this trip was nearly impossible for an aching old man like me. You will soon see it is not so complicated, she told me, insisting with her beautiful glance. We'll arrive at San Luis in a little less than 1,000 millionth of a picosecond. The entire journey will not last longer than 7/10,000ths of a picosecond. Instead of objecting, take advantage of the opportunity which our Lord gives you to travel faster than the speed of light, even though you are still a mortal. I thought about the problem of traveling at the speed of light. If human physiology becomes unaware of what happens at a speed of 300 kilometers per second, what would happen at a speed exceeding 300,000 kilometers per second? The predictions from modern relativistic theory are horrifying. At a speed greater than light, matter increases in mass and would possibly disintegrate. The classical laws of physics are broken because the maximum limit is precisely the speed of light. Straight lines become curved, and moreover, in spite of bad prognostics, Tenderly Loved was so beautiful, so radiant, so optimistic that I stopped worrying about what could happen. Let's go wherever you want, my dear, my beautiful dear lady, I exclaimed in my interior, because if I die on the way instead of losing you, we'll both be dead. She again stroked the backside of my hand with her fingers, and I don't know what happened, nor did I feel anything. Then I realized I was standing next to Tenderly Loved on the sidewalk of a narrow provincial street. We are already in San Luis Potosi, she assured me with her youthful smile. It's a miracle. No, it's very simple. Mortals would call it a miracle because it surpasses the technology of modern science. But for the blessed, this is nothing extraordinary. It is a celestial trip which is very natural and frequently done. You will see in the fatherland that the least of the glorified can travel at a speed equivalent to that of light raised to the thousandth power. It is fabulous. No, on the contrary, it is a little thing. Some of the greatest saints travel with greater speed. When they invite us to travel, the less glorified immensely enjoy it. I will tell you that the speed of the trips, as with the other joys of accidental glory, depends on the degree of happiness obtained by the free collaboration of the human will with the divine. This collaboration is achieved during mortal life while in the state of grace. As you can see, our God glorifies with justice and magnanimity. It is fascinating to travel at great speeds. Well, I am referring to the speeds in this world, in other words, hundreds of kilometers per hour. But why didn't I feel dizzy from the speed? And why did I suddenly find myself here? First of all, because in modified time you are assisted by special help from our Lord. If you had felt the pleasant sensation of vertigo, you would have died from joy. Secondly, because the distance was minimal, the most rapid acceleration to which I was referring corresponds to distances of trillions of light years at the speed of light, elevated to the power of trillions. How true it is that astronomy is behind, I told myself. I have never read that a distance of trillions of light years existed. I would have enjoyed feeling the delightful vertigo of the velocity of light, even though it would have been for the short distance of our trip, but I was fully content with what my dead beloved one gave me. You need to understand, she directed me, how immensely you will enjoy the fatherland. recommend that on a clear night you lay down on a high place, in a high place, with no trees or buildings to contemplate at length the musical and silent river of diamonds, Milky Way of the firmament. You will admire and you will feel nostalgia for the infinite. Do you know where we are? Tenderly loved asked me. My recollections were foggy, but I remembered the paved sidewalk with round stones. I saw further away the little plaza of linen. Yes, we were on Independence Street and it was about 5 p.m. I noticed my clothing. I was wearing my slippers. The neck of my shirt was open and my house jacket was red and very used. I don't know why I started to think how the Blessed will dress. Tenderly Love's dress was simple and elegant, modern and of good quality, but how was the clothing of the glorified during other epochs? I imagined they were tunics and cloaks, as were used in the time of our Lord. Perhaps, with their formidable powers, they could dress any way they wished. Don't you like my dress? She asked me with an inflection of preoccupation. It is very beautiful, although you would look good in any dress. Don't be shocked at what I am going to tell you. The blessed don't wear any clothes. We don't need to, not even to protect ourselves from inclemencies of weather which don't affect us. Actually, we enjoy such inclemencies. We don't need clothes to cover our physical imperfections, since they do not exist in heaven, nor for modesty, since in the glory there is no malice, and every one is impeccable. You will see that to visit you, I ordered atoms to combine and organize, to form my dress, and they obeyed me joyfully in their own way. But maybe I was wrong and my dress is ridiculous. It is clear my mortal concupiscence stirred my imagination, and I don't know how to say that I loved my loved one still more. She, for being so beautiful and amiable, even dressed in our mundane style, seemed more beautiful than the prettiest movie actress or the ideal Helen of Troy. Some passers-by, dressed in morning clothes, with long skirts and faces almost covered with dark veils, were standing immobile on the narrow, worn tiles of the sidewalk. Tenderly Loved guessed my question and answered it. No, we are not in normal terrestrial time. We are in the past. It is October 21st, 1923. What a marvel! I am visiting the past. It seems to me incredible, but I have the evidence in front of me. Nor are we placed, she continued, in the normal passage of past time. We have been placed in a modified time, slower than the time we utilize in Mexico. We move at a rhythm of billions of picoseconds. Look at those morning women. They walk in the rhythm of the normal time of this date. However, because they don't move for us, because their walk is too slow relative to the rhythm of our modified time. I'll explain a bit further, she added. You and I are in a temporal wave, very slow in comparison to the movement of the earth. Such a wave, however, is very fast for the mourners. It is that they walk at a rhythm of a clock and calendar. We, however, move at a rhythm of billions of picoseconds. Later you will understand better. No, she added, on observing my thoughts, don't hope to apply classical equations of wave movements to temporal waves. They do not coincide. These formulas hold only in the present moment of normal Earth time. They do not take into account the parameter of the fifth dimension, which we will see later. With this new coordinate, you will get a glimpse of how it is possible for temporal waves to increase in frequency without modification of amplitude or length. You'll also glimpse at the coexistence of diverse temporal wave trains. Time is very related to wave movement, she clarified. Many varieties of time exist which correspond to temporal waves which, in turn, are similar to light and sound waves. The rapid frequency of the clock rules the lives of mortals. The travelers jump from one second to another as if they were leaping, but they can't jump from one day to Wednesday, nor from today to yesterday. They live with their consciousness bound to the actual instant, without possibility of, of retreating to the past or advancing with greater speed to the future. And they continue this way until a good death, death in our Lord, breaks the rigid bond and obtains liberation. In the meantime, you are scarcely able to view the past from the hundreds of cerebral centers of your memory. These are the windows from which you obscurely view your history.